Check, check, check.
Ready?
Is this thing on or not?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
I can
working?
hear you.
Okay. Okay, well, Cindy, thank you for inviting me here and giving me an opportunity to meet everybody here and share some information with you about what we're calling Portage Place. It's sort of interesting that we have, in different ways, been walking along similar paths, until 2016, I was a professor of sociology and sustainability studies, and for a variety of different reasons, I started to get involved in doing small-scale development. While I had created a sustainability studies program at IU South Bend, I met a person who could build houses that could create as much energy as they used. And the problem with his house, it was like this 15 years ago. Nobody knew how to build it, nobody knew how to sell it, nobody knew how to loan to it. And so I said, well, let's put one down in my neighborhood. And that was in 2016. And that turned into a kind of series of opportunities and a pathway that led me into getting engaged in what's called incremental or small scale development. And when we do incremental or small scale development, that's a type of development that is not about just making money. Making money is the most important thing. Doing good is just as important as what we would like to say. If all you're doing is making money, there's no point. But if you don't make $1 more at the end of the year than what you've spent, you're not going to be able to do any good. So ours is very much a kind of values-based, purpose-driven type of development. It's a movement that's happening across the country. South Bend has been one of the poster childs for this kind of development in the ecosystem we have. And one of the things about it is that there are no gateways. Everybody is welcome. And there are no secret handshakes. So if somebody comes to one of our meetings or talks to anybody in the ecosystem, we now have a list of 200 people that you need to help you get engaged. And we can introduce you to people in the building department and to banks. And you don't have to, as we say, go to the Christmas party on the 13th floor over in South Bend in order to be able to get that kind of access. So we share a lot of values, what we've heard Cindy talk about and what we've heard Kelly talk about. We call it farming because the idea is not that we're going to develop and move on. The idea is you find a place that you can love, commit to it for the long term, ideally perhaps the rest of your life. And so my farm is over in South Bend, Indiana, right near where the Near Northwest Neighborhood organization is located, and it's 2 blocks away from where I live. And almost everything I do is within those 2 blocks. I have about a quarter mile away a few other lots that we're starting to do some work with. And it's also something that takes a long time. Our first project, which was the what is now the Botany building over there, we started that back in 2016, 2017, and it took a couple of years to get that going. More recently, we've done some other sorts of things, but the current project that we're working on is the former Ward Bakery building. After that, it became it was Ward Bakery until the mid-1980s, an industrial bakery building, 56,000 square feet, and that became the Ford Distributing Center. And in 2012, they just walked away. Left the building behind, let it go to seed. Everything that was any value was taken out of it. They left $50,000 worth of junk behind, no growth trees growing out of it. This is a building that was actually 2 blocks away from where I live and right in the middle of my farm, and I never wanted to do this project. As a matter of fact, the Near Northwest Neighborhood had been trying to get tax credit grants to turn it into residential housing, but the problem was it's not made for that. And so they could never get competition enough, could never get high enough. There's 110 people getting tax credit grants, 15 get them. They couldn't quite get there. So as a matter of fact, the last time they went for it, 2016, there was a couple of vacant lots in here for parking lots, and they never bought those. Well, I bought them on tax sale because I was afraid somebody's going to get a hold of them and hold us hostage. And then I said to the editor, I said, look, if you don't get this tax credit grant this 6th time around, then, and I'm gonna give you $1 option on these lots so you can go for it, but if you don't do it, then we're going to the city, we're gonna get this building knocked down. And I'm a sustainability guy, I don't want to knock down buildings, but I could not imagine doing a building like this. What I could imagine is doing one lot at a time. Well, I met some mentors, and I kept on taking the next step, so that by the time 2017 came around, we heard about that. I said, okay, I guess we're gonna have to be the ones to start to take a look at it. Now, the reason I say that sometimes free is too much is because we bought this building from the county for $1,000.
Whoa.
Now, why would the county sell us this building for $1,000? Well, because it would take $500,000 to knock it down, and it was going to take several $1 million to build it up. And people walked away, left $387,000 worth of unpaid taxes, no roof, nothing in it. And in this country, you're allowed to do that. In other countries, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. In other countries, you would either have to pay those taxes and also pay everybody whose property values that you destroyed that was within 2 to 4 blocks. But here that doesn't happen, unfortunately. And so we took this on, and this is what it looked like in February of 22. And so you can see no roof, all the junk that was inside it. The Ford Distributing Center left. Well, it's 20, 40-yard dumpsters. That means they give you $50,000, 4 people working with a front loader to clean this building out. $135,000 worth of asbestos in the building, $60,000 in the boiler room alone. So these were the kinds of things that we had to deal with. And then February 23, we're starting to get it cleaned out. We've got a roof on the building, starting to put in new windows. October 2024, the windows are in, and we're starting to get it closed, built out. This is 56,000 square feet, and so we're approaching this also incrementally, one step at a time. We teach this. I now work with a group who mentored me, teach us around the country with a group called Neighborhood Evolution. We coach individuals, but we also help cities get their zoning in place. We do design work and around the country. What happened is that as we began to work through this, it just could only do the first 13,000 square feet out of 56,000. So we've got 3 or 4 more times the building to go. We're into it for $3.5 million just to get the thing opened up in the first 14,000 square feet. And part of that is because we made a conscious decision. This was destroying the neighborhood. And so what we decided to do is, rather than just take our little spot that we're working on, which is actually in the north end of the building, not the tall end, but the smaller end that you can see in the picture, we decided that we were going to fix the entire outside of this building. So from the outside, it looks like the whole building is whole. And a lot of people go there, and when I give them tours, they'll look at it and say, wow, and then I open the door, the other spot, and they go, oh my God, I didn't even know this was here. And that doesn't include the lower level and some stuff in the upper stairs. But the problem was, is we didn't want this to continue to drive down values. But the advantage of doing this is what we were building on, is we were building on the shoulders of the Near Northwest neighborhood and the great work they had done in renovating over 100 houses in 20-some years, and they're starting to do some new builds. And some entrepreneurs, early ones, Kathy with Bring Their Books, Ben Fuda with Botany and a Portage Collective, moving in there, we were able to step onto their shoulders and help to continue to build this up. I continue to work with everybody. We got our occupancy permit for the first level, the upper level, the ground floor level in November of 2025. We just brought the building department. We're hoping to get that lower level. We're hoping to get the occupancy permit in the next few weeks. We've got a few more things to do. But we've been off to a good start. We were absolutely very lucky to get Cloud Walking, which some of you might know, was looking to open a new coffee shop on the other side of town. And so they came into our building and became our anchor tenant. And I mean, Kelly was talking about divine time. One of my partners talks about God grace. the laws of nature, karma, whatever it is, when you commit to a process, a place or a passion for the rest of your life, and you make one step at a time at that, the world does change. And I think the reason it changes is because, again, rather than talking about what's wrong with things, there are a hell of a lot of people out there that want to get out there and try to make a difference. And boy, there's so much crap going out there, and we have different ideas about that. We could argue all we want. But I don't argue with people about what's not right with the world and who's right and who's wrong. What I say is, what is the next step you can do in your neighborhood? And for some people, that's just putting together one box that's a garden box. And that's what Sarah Stewart did in 2008. Put a little bit of a garden in her backyard. Well, that's now Unity Gardens, which has fundamentally transformed the whole food place in this city. She did just one garden. If she would have planned and said, I have to have everything I've got now to build that building and set up what I've got over on the west side, she'd still be sitting there talking about it. But we talk about people as the most important thing is to just, think forward for aspiration, look back for evaluation. If I look forward and evaluate myself and what I haven't done, I have to go climb up and, get out my dose of Lexapro. But if I look backwards and see what's happened in the last 5 or 6 years, it's wow, not bad. And then if I take a look at what needs to be done, that's the next week and the next month. And so that's the kind of work we do. This is what we call, we've got spaces for some retail spaces. We've actually rented out all the retail spaces. We've got, in addition to Counterspell, great coffee, oh my God. Holly and Oak, the first yarn shop we've had in this town in 13 years. We've got the Alchemy Health and Wellness, talk therapy, yoga, and refillery, massage. CDFI Friendly has just decided to move in. They're the place that helps people get loans and stuff like that. We've got Realtor, we've got AI, we've got all kinds of, pardon?
Shared workspace?
We don't do shared workspace. It's not a workspace. We call it the co-lab, not a co-workspace. The reason for that is we don't have memberships. What we do is we rent out our offices by the year. And so when you come into our co-lab space, you collaborate with not only people in the co-lab area, but we're collaborating across the entire building. We call it Collaborative Village. But you have your own office, your own key, and that you come in. We don't have any conference rooms we rent out. We have a space in the lower level that you can go use, but it's not private, it's not rented out because we don't have a receptionist. We're paying to rent this stuff out. And so the whole idea is to kind of make this, our rents go anywhere from $325 to about $900, depending on the size of the office and what you're looking at in terms of these offices. And so we refer to our place as Portage Place, your place to be and to collaborate with other people that are there. And just one other sort of interesting sort of element. When we talk about incremental development, we have been part of, and I've been part of a group here in South Bend. It's not unlike this. We call it South Bend Townmakers. And we have about 27 to 30 people right now who are kind of engaged in doing small development that we know each other. There's lots of folks out there, maybe some of you that we don't know, that might not be part of the network that's come out of the woodwork yet. But those 30 small-scale developers are doing, we have done or are in the process of doing between $30 and $40 million worth of small-scale development in the neighborhoods in the city of South Bend, and 85% are not in the downtown area. And they're working in neighborhoods that most big developers won't go into, and these are people who live in those places, care about it. Our goal is to help create wealth in neighborhoods, for neighborhoods, just as this group is about, creating entrepreneurship, at our level, not with somebody, who is so big that they can spend their time taking their friends to the moon, literally. And what you can see here is just the 3.5 acres that I will touch in some period of 15 years. I'm in year 7 now. When I first started in 2016, all the properties that we were looking at, including that bakery and a couple of abandoned buildings and 20-some vacant lots, were paying $2,600 a year altogether, not each, altogether in taxes to the city of South Bend, because they were all vacant, empty, or somebody had walked away. We're now over $20,000 In 6 years, we've increased it by 6 times the taxes we pay, and by 2032, we'll be paying $300,000 a year in taxes. So what people need to understand, and what Mayor Dave obviously understands, and quite frankly, so does James over in South Bend, and some other people around the country, is that we are the economic development of our communities.
That's right.
And our economic development offices need to understand, trying to bring in the next Studebaker, who's just gonna leave in 20 years and destroy our communities all over again, is not what we want. Yes, we want those folks here. We're not here, just little kids, increasing the quality of life. We are the businesses that make a difference, and our economic development people need to begin to understand that and focus on us. And it's happening here, and it's happening in South Bend. They don't fully get it totally. The only people that really get it is the South Bend, Michiana, South Bend Elkhart Regional Partnership. Bethy and her group understands that. Folks in South Bend and here in economic development, they're getting it. But anyways, this is just us, my group, multiply that by 30 times. And think about all of what you're all doing. And so one of the things we like to talk about is step 4 in our 12 Steps to Town Making group, and it is recovery group, from bad economics and bad design. We've got a textbook that we wrote. One of our step 3 is follow the money. And so when you go to talk to anybody, we go to talk to mayors, I don't talk, do this because this is good. I go to talk to them and I show them that. And I said, you want that to make a difference in your community? This is how you can do it. And the people are already here. And yeah, you can talk to those folks from out of town, but you got the folks here, so start talking with us as well. So with that, I'll end the presentation, and if there's any questions, I'm happy to take any.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
How can I get involved? I would love to be a part of your group.
I'm gonna put, what I'll do is, let's see, I've got a bunch of cards here, so I'm just gonna hand it to you, and you can contact me, and we can, right.
Thank you.
Can I have one?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm gonna hand out these all around, so
Okay.
give one to each person.